from our last tale.
On the wall, it seems different than... There's something about that wall. Look, we're in the middle of something here. There's a very important delivery that is being interrupted by someone, and you shouldn't associate with people like that.
Does someone need help? Does someone need assistance?
I mean, we're both pretty strong. I mean, look at us. Come on, we can help you if you need some help.
Snow, situation's changed. Can you actually make your way up here? Look for smoke.
I found an interesting wall.
He pauses for just a moment. Oh, must have missed one. I think we're going to roll initiative here.
And by stop them, you mean...
Use your imagination.
We will bring up spiritual weapon.
And put her short sword up to his chest and just slowly push it in until she knows that he's done.
Snow is going to attempt to grapple him.
Ooh, 13 slashing damage.
Viola's down.
Okay, he screams out and blood erupts from his throat as he falls down.
We could break initiative at this point. They are no longer combatants.
Cool. Quick as she can, Ste'yn would like to turn to the leader who just went down, basically put a knee on top of his chest, and then cast healing words so that we can interrogate him. No. He's going to cast healing words to get him back to just healing hands. He gets 4 points of health back, but she is on top of him, keeping him down from moving.
Viola's gonna stand to the side of him, like standing up, holding her sword down at him.
All right. I like it.
Snow is going to try to stabilize the guy in front of him as well.
You don't need to. You note that he seems like he's fine, especially as the head celebrant kind of lays a hand on him for a moment as if like checking him. But as he stands up again and you go to stabilize him, you note that he's okay, just unconscious.
Ste'yn will call to Viola. There are manacles in my bag. If you could get those out, we can chain him up properly.
Viola will grab the manacles and start working on chaining him up.
Beau's going to approach the other guy and he's going to pull out his dagger and he's going to be like, well, if we already have the leader, then we don't really need this guy, do we?
Beau?
Oh no, there'll be no more blood spilt on this ground today.
All right. He switches to his psychic blade. How about this?
How about nothing?
Isn't that what brought this one down and another one down?
Well, maybe.
There'll be no more blood spilt in this hallowed ground.
All right, so I'll take him out back. Is that what the verdict is?
No.
Or are you just really insistent on them living?
They do not need to die today. They're worth much more alive right now. Their death has not yet been earned.
I don't know, that crossbow bolt, he grips it out of his arm, I would say, earned him plenty.
Snow is going to run over to find his friends, since it's been a while now. And he's going to make his way over there and see the situation and immediately throw up.
You are absolutely welcome to do so. And coming up shortly behind you, you guys are having this conversation, and poor Snow is vomiting, and you guys go to attend to him, and shortly after, the head celebrant arrives down the corridor, followed by Jeremy, who is looking positively panicked, clutching the box, as well as a few acolytes are now kind of like streaming in, looking at the scene, very confused looks on their faces. You do recognize a few of them. You see Yonai is one of them. For a moment, he looked kind of tired and then saw what was going on and immediately looked like he had a 5-hour energy. Aglin is among them as well. He's standing back near the head celebrant, whereas Yonai was getting a little closer towards you and towards the others. And then there's 2 other acolytes, a female with tan skin. She has long brown hair, wearing a white acolyte robe. She also has a head covering, a white scarf over her hair. And you see a tall, feathered acolyte with hanging robes draped that right at the end you see these poofs of plumes of his feathers, who is also taller than the girl he's standing next to, and his head is cocked to the side, his beak slightly open as he's taking in the scene as well. They're kind of taking in what's happened here for a moment before the head celebrant acknowledges the 4 of you.
Beau drops disguise self.
Right,
He hasn't yet.
Excellent. And he says, well, there has been quite enough bloodshed, certainly. We'll need to understand what happened here.
So there's still 2 who are unconscious right now, right?
Of the Peace
What?
Watch?
Of the
I think
of
they
the 4
died.
of the 4 up here.
He's brought back, but these
Mhm.
2 were never brought back by anyone. Those 2 Viola finished off.
Yes.
Snow is
Yeah.
going to
That one.
go over to them and see if they're alive or not.
Okay. Of the 2 that are unconscious?
I mean, the one I think
I
was
let them go.
stabbed through the chest. I don't know how much.
These 2, unless
This
they
one-
acted on them, unless any of you acted on them immediately after combat, then no, they are not alive.
Yes, sir. We're happy to explain what happened. I think between the 4 of us and these 2, we can get you a good picture. We apologize for the spillage of blood in this place and try to end it peacefully.
I tried not to make a big mess when it did come to shedding blood, but towards the end I just got kind of mad, so...
And Ste'yn will get up
Sorry.
off the guy she was kneeling on and pull him up to his feet by the manacles. And
Well,
just...
don't some of the gods like bloodshed anyway?
Not many that you'll find in these halls, I assure you.
Can you take one of those stones that clean stuff up and just, like, knock it against the floor and get rid of it?
There are other ways. These halls will be fine. I don't believe you were here to desecrate anything. They might have other intentions, and we'll have to determine that in due time. This will be for... He looks at them. This will be for the real Peace Watch to determine. I think you 4 have done quite enough, and your service is noted, and we are grateful.
When you say grateful, do you mean money grateful?
Beau, Beau, no! Stop it! That just
You
keeps going in your
strive.
head.
You strive for great things. That's not a bad thing at all. But no, I'm afraid gold is not what you'll find here. In plenty.
Forgive us, sir. I don't believe we know who you are.
He looks over the 4 of you. Ste'yn, give me a perception check.
Snow
That
is still kneeling in the
a-
blood by the bodies, by the way.
Oh,
He hasn't
poor
moved.
baby. 21.
He looks at the 4 of you, and he's nodding his head towards you, and he stops on you, Ste'yn, and he nods his head, and he smiles. I am Gaworo. I'm the head celebrant. And Ste'yn, you have come a long way.
Ste'yn
Met this
is
guy before?
very shocked, looks at him, tilts her head a bit. It's really you?
Now you can see so well with your armor always on.
Yes. I've learned
Has
to
been
watch
some time.
carefully. Ste'yn's going to...
Careful is not the word the Ste'yn I knew well.
I've learned a lot of lessons since my time with you.
I hope I could contribute.
Very much so. Ste'yn will sort of push the guy she was holding over towards Viola and step towards Garo. And she will kneel before him as a show of gratitude. And yeah, she's not really sure what else to do.
And you feel his hand on the top of, well, it's on your armor. But you sort of get a sense that it's there.
She just has her hood on. She doesn't have the big helmet on. Right
Oh,
now.
wonderful. You feel his hand on the, I guess, the scarf that covers your
Mhm.
hair. Where once you probably were going through the motions of such gestures of, the niceties and politeness and calm. It's almost a comfort now. Just strange, but comforting. And then he taps your shoulder to stand. You are, of course, always welcome to come to Staker's Keep. You are always welcome in our chambers, and he motions towards the wall where you know Atala's chamber is. But now will not be the time for catching up.
No, sir.
Yeah.
He looks at you, Snow. He walks in your direction, and he will place a hand on your shoulder as well. You have something? Say.
Snow's just staring off into space for a bit before he looks up, and he doesn't look at the head celebrant. He looks over at his friends. Why?
Who's currently
Why?
holding
What?
the one dude? This dude? Who's currently holding that guy?
Viola's got him.
Well, while he's asking that, Beau is going to be searching that. He's gonna walk over and search that guy, like frisk him or whatever.
You see the head celebrant's hand motion towards you with his hand up, asking you to indicative of stopping.
Well, he's not looking that direction, so.
He seems a very perceptive man.
No,
Is
I'm
he not?
saying Beau is
Oh,
not
Beau is
looking.
not?
Beau is searching the other guy. He's the other, so he's not facing celebrants.
Then he would, if you didn't catch it, he would say, "Hold on, that is out of your jurisdiction. Please wait."
Do you find anything?
Just by patting.
Yeah,
Him
he's,
down or
like,
anything?
searching them.
There are like there are things. Yes, you take them despite the head celebrant telling you to stop.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they aren't paying him, so we might as well try and find something on this guy.
Sure. Obviously notice his weapons, the brooch and the cloak, obviously. There's a pouch that has some money in it. You also hear something kind of crinkle, as if it like a note of some kind, before you feel a hand on your shoulder. Snow, the hand left yours. You feel a hand on your shoulder. You hear the head celebrant. There's only so much I can say to avoid further trouble for you. Please do not insist.
I want to try and sleight of hand the crinkled piece of paper.
You are welcome to.
I'm going to use my inspiration to counter my disadvantage to just make it regular.
Okay.
And that was
Exhaustion
not
do be
helpful,
brutal.
because it's still only a 9.
Yeah.
Everyone sees you just
in your
slowly.
hand.
Smack him on the hand.
You're certain you had it in your hand before this thing is not in your hands any longer. You're not even entirely sure where it went. It's not in your hands any longer, and it's not on the person of the leader. But there is still a hand on your shoulder.
Okay, he's going to just kind of shrugs the hand off as he turns around.
Ste'yn will look over at Snow because he had his question of why.
When he said that too, Viola said, "Why what?"
Why did you kill them?
They attacked me. They challenged my life. I attacked back. Unfortunately,
That doesn't answer my question.
I'm not as blessed as Ste'yn is with the ability to heal. If it's my life versus somebody else's, I'm gonna choose my own life.
Even if there's another way?
There
I
wasn't.
don't know what the other way was.
There's always another way.
No, we tried to end things peacefully. We tried to get out of this without any bloodshed, without any fighting, without anyone dying. But when our lives are threatened, we have a duty to ourselves to take care of ourselves first.
You can
That we can
protect
help
yourself
others.
without ending other people's lives. It was not right.
I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's a good thing that they are dead. I'm not saying I rejoiced over the fact that there are bodies on the ground. If there had been another way, in the moment, we would have taken it.
You lack imagination. And Snow stands up and walks away.
Oh, and where were you then? Yelling at us for killing them, where you weren't exactly helping.
You hear a
I was
voice
not there
trailing.
anymore.
You hear a voice trailing from the hall as you're leaving, Snow. And the head celebrant says, "That young man is right to be concerned. Life is precious. If it can be preserved, of course, we wish to preserve it. As I look at them, though, I wonder if they forfeit that gift. We make choices. It's true. One can, in fact, forfeit the gift that is their life. I am pleased that you all are, I should say, well enough. I don't wish to put additional on your plate. I will say, if you would like to rest here, you are of course welcome. We will make sure you receive healing. If your friend is injured and he wishes to return." He takes a moment, he looks over at Jeremy, who is kind of standing back towards like the entrance of the hall. He looks over at him for a moment. And did Snow go invisible or did he just leave?
He left.
Okay.
No, he walked away quickly.
You would shortly after hear, whether you choose to acknowledge or not, you'd hear footsteps starting to follow or following behind. They won't go any further than the entrance of the atrium as Jeremy, poor Jeremy, calls out, if you wanted to get healing, you're welcome to, and thank you. I didn't want to end up like them. And he just kind of lowers his head, kind of sulky, and he'll just stand by at the head of the atrium with that final thanks.
And he says, "Thank you, I didn't want to end up like them." Snow stops, turns back around to face him. "I'm glad you're all right."
You
And
too.
He's gonna hesitate for a moment and then turn and leave.
Back with the head celebrant, as he did, he offers space for you to rest, to heal. This is certainly something that your captain should be informed of.
Good luck.
I actually... Oh, I understand. She is actually on my list of visits today. See if we can't do something more for her.
How long would that healing take?
That is an excellent question.
One that gets an answer?
I certainly hope so. We'll find out. Her condition is certainly an interesting one.
What?
It's a
I'm
unique
talking
one.
about for us, not for her.
Oh. Oh, healing shouldn't take you long at all. Barely a scratch. Barely an inconvenience.
He gestures to the hole in his arm from the bowl.
And like immediately
Blood slowly trickling out.
yeah, like immediately like Yonai and Aglin and the other two who introduced themselves, the girl introduces herself as Tamar, and the Arakokra introduces himself as Kef. They are happy to escort you to the same set of beds where Snow had been taken, but it doesn't take long at all. You guys are healed up. You're pretty much right as rain.
They're only curing their wounds?
Yes, it'll be physical wounds. They can't help your emotional trauma.
Well, I was mainly thinking about his exhaustion. We know at least one person can feel exhaustion.
Do you tell him what happened? But they will heal your physical wounds.
Healing him, he'll be like, is there anything for just giving some more energy to somebody if they're feeling really tired?
Yes, Aglin makes his way to you and he's healing your wounds, and you mention being pretty tired, and he nods and he's 2 in as many days. What are they putting these novices through? And puts his hand on you, and you do feel the exhaustion passing. Are you guys taking time to kind of to sit there to be
As soon as Ste'yn's healed or anything, she's gonna start trying to find Snow.
And Beau was gonna leave as soon as he was done as well.
Viola is
Viola
gonna
takes a
follow
nap.
Ste'yn.
She's like, guys, I'm good.
Before she leaves, Ste'yn will look for Gauro one more time to tell him that thank him for his assistance and that they'll be happy to come back and say or do anything they need to once they find their friend.
I guess as you guys are on your way out, and Gauro is in the atrium speaking to a group of Peace Watchmen who have arrived. There are 3 of them. Only 3 of them. And he is speaking with them.
Is Canyon one of them?
Yes, Canyon is in fact one of them. Yes. In fact, Canyon is now holding the box. The box with the crown. He is now holding it. So you guys would pass through them, and Gauro will stop you a moment, gesture to the Peace Watchman, and he will thank you again for your service, for stopping what could have been a terrible tragedy. And he explains that these imposters, whatever it is they were doing, they will be thoroughly investigated. And if you're interested in hearing the results of what was going on, he'd be happy to inform you, honestly.
Wait, real quick, to confirm, Canyon, was he wearing the eye patch?
He wasn't. So you just see this real nice shiner on his face. Before you leave, he just kind of mouths you like, "Chicks dig scars. She liked it. It was okay."
He's gonna.
Wow.
And then I want the eye patch. It's what he mouths.
And as you're heading out, he'll just like politely pass it over to you. You got your eye patch back. He is holding the crown. Did you guys want anything else at Saker's Keep and with the crown?
Ste'yn will, if they're standing there stopped a minute, she'll look at the box and suddenly remember that the crown's a thing, that's what they were here to deal with.
Oh, yeah!
And look at Gauro and ask, "You're certain that whatever was laid upon that crown, whatever curse that crown held, is no longer there?"
Oh, absolutely. In whatever the metal itself, that's perfectly fine. That's no more than a pretty crown. That wasn't what seemed to be the problem.
Was it the rubies? Or gems?
It was, actually. I have my eye on those for further investigation.
What do they do?
That is a very good question. All I noted so far is that they are the part that have some type of lingering magic about them. After I had banished whatever fiend that did not want to stay long enough to introduce itself. Pity. Would have been good to know more. The fiend was gone, the metal was left, and the rubies, I found interest in them. I don't know exactly what they do. However, they appear to give off a type of essence similar to... Are you familiar with spells such as Gentle Repose? Preserving bodies.
Very.
It gave me a sense very much similar to that. But if you are familiar with that type of spell, you'd know as well. It will take some days before I see if it's going to react the way I suspect it might.
Thank you.
If you need anything else, as I said, you are always welcome at Saker's Keep. Just fewer fires are always appreciated.
I'm sure we'll be back. I know I'll be back.
I should certainly hope so, Ste'yn.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now, I think your friend could use some attention for a short while. Or perhaps he could use some time by himself. I'll leave that to you to determine. You know him better than I.
Thank you.
Ste'yn, do you want me to just ask him where he is?
Yes, if you can. Is that thing still up?
It was for 2 hours, so we haven't. It's probably not even been an hour so far. Snow?
Oh.
Snow,
maybe
hello? I don't think he's answering.
Say, let's see.
You have Ste'yn worried.
I'll find him.
Well,
See.
he's.
Snow ends the mind link.
Any response?
No.
I hung up.
Left him on read.
Need to find him.
Let him pout about. It's fine. We're gonna go talk to the emissaries, weren't we?
If y'all want to, you can. He's upset.
Yes. And he's upset and he cut off communication. I don't think he wants to talk right now.
I don't know if he's going to get to make that choice, and Ste'yn's going to cast Locate Object on Snow's stuff.
He goes nowhere
Definitely
without
more than
it.
1,000 feet away.
So she can use it as some sort of guide if
It'll
she
give
gets
you a
within 1,000
direction.
feet. So she'll start walking around, hoping to eventually sense it somewhere within 1,000 feet.
Where do you go?
Right? Are Beau and Viola going with Ste'yn to find him, or are they going to go talk to or further this investigation? So much happening.
Viola will say to Beau, if you want to go to the emissary's office, I'm more than happy to go with you. Ste'yn. There was this little gardeny kind of area that I saw him dancing at before, and Viola will kind of give her general directions to that area. He could potentially be there.
Thank you. Ste'yn will head towards that.
We could stay with Ste'yn. Besides, I think the two of them are better with people than we are.
We'll search for a little while. If after, I don't know, hour, 2 hours, he still is not found, I'll go talk to the emissaries with you.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, you're on the hunt for Snow. I don't actually know where Snow went. I'll leave that to him. So while you guys go look for Snow, where are you off to?
So at first he just started walking down the path away from Saker's Keep, not really thinking about where he was going. And then, as he often does when he is troubled, his mind turned to his sister. And so then he is going to speed walk to his mailbox and see if he got anything from her. So he's going back to the barracks for his mailbox.
You head back to the novice hut, go through the wild pike. You get your normal hellos and greetings from, at this point, like basically half the staff, including Rosita, who spots you and waves gleefully, not long enough to stop and notice anything might be amiss, enough to make sure you see her before she is now attending back to her patrons.
He smiles and waves as if he hasn't a care in the world.
Beautiful.
He's good at
He is good at that. I should make you roll a deception. In fact, go ahead and roll while I go find something for you.
I'm going to use my inspiration to give myself advantage on that. It was okay. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great.
But it could be better.
This is much better. It's a 22.
Excellent. You wave and smile. She waves again and goes back to her patrons. Bar Lad even tips his head to you as you go by. You go up to the barracks. You go into that common room area where the mailboxes are, and you do in fact see your mailbox glowing. You guys, while he gets a moment to read this thing, it was in fact a letter in his mailbox. So you guys start with searching that garden area, and you look about. It's pretty open, spacious, and you don't see him there.
Well, how far away is it from the keep? Because she is, what was it, 1,000?
1,000-foot range.
Yeah,
It wasn't super far.
It wasn't. No, it was pretty close. It was basically just up the walk. There was a gardeny area.
So then would she send Snow staff within 1,000 feet of her now? It's a little less than a quarter mile.
Quarter mile, then no.
If we don't see Snow there immediately, Viola's next suggestion would be to go ask Darian if he's seen him. Because they seem
The
to have
barkeep
a
knows all.
decent
He
relationship.
does know all. Sure.
That's a good idea.
We have to go talk
And
to
maybe
Darian.
Snow's in need of a drink right now.
So you guys walk your way up to the wild pike.
Yeah.
So, Beau, are you just going at their speed?
Yeah.
The devastation of walking at normal pace. So, Snow is hoofing it. Y'all are making your way. You get to the wild pike eventually, and it is calmed. It's not crazy. It's still the morning, breakfast hours. So you don't see snow, obviously, but you went up. How long does locate object last?
10 minutes, so it might be.
Oh yeah, that definitely wouldn't hold. But give me a perception check for Darian.
Dirty 20.
You see, did you guys meet Rosita? I don't know that Ste'yn had the chance. You see just behind this lovely lady, she has blue hair pulled off to the side. She's in this somehow well kept, despite moving pretty quick, blouse and long skirt, her rag around it and apron. And she appears to be speaking to Darian at the moment on the other side of the bar before he actually starts to exit back through one of the doors.
As she sees him leaving, Ste'yn will call out Darian.
He maybe didn't hear as the door closes, but the woman turns around, sees Beau and sees Viola, and then sees a large suit of armor and pauses for a moment. Nods and smiles. Hello, welcome to the Wild Pike. Welcome, good morning. How can I help you?
Hi, we're
looking for Snow.
Yes.
Are you friends of his?
Yes.
Give me a persuasion check.
Who?
All of you.
All three of us?
Mm-hmm.
Could Viola just
16.
help and give one of us advantage?
I will also say the whole walk down here, Viola's only been talking when necessary. She's been kind of hanging back. Like, she's
got a
not
23.
talkative.
Okay. Okay. She smiles.
I got a 5.
Oh no. Looking for Snow. He has been here this morning. I think I saw him walk by.
Recently?
It's got an insight check.
Sure.
That is a 21.
Okay. You get a sense that she knows Snow, and she kind of has a hesitancy about her before she speaks. If somebody has to ask to find him, someone who's as approachable as he is, it just gives her a moment of wonder. But with your persuasion rolls, she does say, yes, fairly recently. I don't know, half an hour ago? Maybe
Okay.
less than that.
Well, it could have been half an hour ago. We know where he was a half an hour ago.
All right. I spend most of my day behind this bar, and time moves in funny ways. I
sorry.
apologize if my information was not
It's
accurate.
been a long day. So he...
This early?
It seems to be a habit of ours.
He is upset,
Ah.
and while we weren't necessarily to blame for it, we want to comfort him.
She leans in.
Sounded like it pained you to say that.
She leans in, and she's it actually reminds you a lot of when Darian was about to tell you something as he leaned in. She leans in and she says, may I suggest a slightly, ever so slightly different tone for comfort?
Yes, well, I'm not comforting you, am I?
No. No, not much at all, I'm afraid. It looked like... And she kind of looks just a little past Beau, more at the ladies, but kind of making it look like a general sweep. And she says he looked to be headed towards the novice hut. So, I honestly don't know where he went other than that. I wish you guys would stop in and eat something if it's been such a busy day.
Maybe we'll get him back down here for lunch.
It's even closer.
Try to beat the rush. Or
They're
miss the
not even
rush.
done serving breakfast.
Or one of those breakfast till 10:30. But yes, I believe he went to the novice hut.
Thank you.
If something's upsetting him, you please tell him and remind him, and if you need to, pop it back into his pretty head that he should come here immediately if he's unhappy. Stop at my bar, stop in this stool, this one, right here, and if he doesn't, and I find out he's upset elsewhere, please tell him I will also not use my comforting voice.
Well, you must not have been using it earlier when you saw him, because he was upset then, too.
I didn't use my voice at all, as a matter of fact.
Fair enough.
I used my comforting wave.
He's also, I imagine, fairly good at hiding how he feels.
I imagine that as well.
Thank you again. I'm sure we'll see you shortly.
I imagine that as well.
And head to the novice hut. to the barracks.
You will find Snow sitting in whatever the closest open chair was to his mailbox, with the letter open.
The same one
rereading it.
The same one you found him in on the very first day, while you guys were talking about his letter, and not asking him about his letter.
Is there anyone else in here?
I'll say no. Maybe when you first got up there, you might have seen a couple of people just passing through, either going into the barracks or down. But at this point, I'll say no.
Is that from Taryn?
Yes, it is.
That's good. I know you're glad to hear from her. Might not be glad to hear from us right now.
He folds up the letter and puts it in his backpack on the stack of the many other letters from Taryn he's accumulated over time. What do you have to say?
I don't think there's anything I can say that will make anything better. I don't know if you heard Gaura's small speech about the gift of life and how sometimes we choose to forfeit that. That doesn't make taking a life right. And it's true, we're not as imaginative, not nearly as imaginative as you, not as creative. I hope you know that is, at least for myself, never the first aim, never the desired goal.
But it's still a goal.
A goal?
I think a goal is different from a course of action. And
You
I also
intended to
think
kill him, and you did.
that wasn't the original intention, though. And I also think it's a bit
No,
unfair of you
I
to
didn't say the original.
judge. Can you please wait until I'm finished? I think it's unfair of you to judge when you were not there in that moment. I don't think it's unfair of you to deal with whatever else was going on. However, you were not there in that moment. You did not hear the words that were exchanged or the motions that were exchanged. And I think it's unfair of you to judge.
And I don't think there's ever a reason for cruelty. And he will, Snow looks over at Ste'yn. Maybe someone can forfeit, maybe they can't. But that never gives you the right to take it.
And
There's always a creative solution.
Yes, if only they had
There's
lived and
always
killed
another.
Viola, so that way you could give them this scolding. How does that help anyone?
That isn't what I said at all.
Okay, they
3
aimed
of the
to
5
kill.
survived. 3 of the 5 survived. That means the other 2 could have as well.
I couldn't get to them fast enough. Is
They're-
that what you want to hear?
Their blood is on the hands of the one who dealt the killing strike. And you're right, I wasn't there. I don't know which one of you it was, which is why I am mad at all 3 of you. But I also recognize that maybe in the moment it was difficult to restrain yourself. Maybe you haven't had, I don't know the experiences that you have had. My main regret is the fact that there's no remorse shown, but perhaps in time.
Every loss of life is one worth mourning, especially for those whose deaths, like theirs, that's not a way to earn it. That's not a way to receive the promise, receive the embrace of death the way it's meant to be. I don't know what remorse you want, how we can show more remorse, how we can be more sorry for a loss of life in the moments after experience where you didn't give us time to. And I'm sorry.
I forgive you. No looks over to the other 2.
I don't know if I currently have whatever words it is that you're wanting to hear. I almost died back there, and I will tell you that the 2 who died at my blade, and at least one of them I offered the option of put down your blade and I'll spare your life, when it was still multiple of them against us 3. And I went with the instincts that I was trained to have. Obviously, he didn't choose the option I would have wanted him to choose, but that's what happened nonetheless. I can't go back and change it. I can't heal them and spare their lives the way that others can. I did what I was capable of in the moment.
Well, we can't always choose our own training, so I understand that. But would you try to do better in future?
If I had seen another option or a way out at that point in time, I promise you I would have taken it. If we had enjoyed killing them, there would have been 4 dead bodies instead of just 2.
Snow looks at Beau.
Beau stares back. I'm not going to apologize for killing somebody. Well, actually, I'd even kill anyone. But if someone does come with me with lethal pursuit, I'm not going to refrain.
Well, then I suppose it's fortunate that I do think that there is always hope for everyone.
Well, don't worry. If they're about to kill you, I'll just let them. He says that with a smirk, not with like a scowl.
That was a joke.
Yes, that was an attempt at a joke.
Snow can tell. Yeah, Snow can tell if that was an attempt at a joke.
It could be a
For
bad
Beau, I
timing.
think that was a marvelous one.
Could be a bad timing for a joke, but a joke nonetheless.
That's the catch.
Yeah, he didn't laugh, but
Otherwise, Beau, that was spot on.
Is the mind link still up, or is it gone at this point in time?
It's up for us two. Snow severed his.
You probably got another, half hour or so. If it was
Beau,
2
that was-
hours.
Yeah, it was 2
That-
hours.
Beau, that was a terrible joke. Pretty ill-timed. But I applaud you for your efforts.
He just kind
Ste'yn
of
will
nods.
reach out her hand towards Snow.
how are you holding out your hand?
Just like for a handshake, very
Oh,
gently.
like a
Just
handshake? Okay.
yeah. Are we going to be okay?
Well, I suppose it wouldn't do any good by leaving you all on your own anymore. So I suppose he'll take your hand.
In the mind, he's gonna go over to Viola. And by the way, if this situation were to reoccur, even if we did like killing them, because oh my goodness, how could we? At the same time, you always at least want one alive to question them, which now we have two to question, which, I mean, hopefully they're good at it.
Does Snow still look hurt or tired or anything?
What was Snow hit with earlier? Was it a mace? That guy had a mace, right?
Yeah.
The one with you had a mace that he kind of clubbed you with.
Probably can't really tell then because he's barely injured,
Okay.
and that would just leave bruises that's under
Yeah,
his
just some
clothes
internal
and armor
bleeding
and
is all.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The usual.
I've got like a cracked
Hey,
rib, but
yeah.
it'll be fine.
If it was internal bleeding, wouldn't Beau be able to sense that? Be like, the blood's not moving quite right. in
Well,
this
no, he
area."
doesn't have blood
Ooh,
sense
blood.
like that.
His blood is a little delicate. Interesting.
Ste'yn will ask, "Are you all right? You didn't get healed at the temple."
I healed myself, but thank you. And Snow looks over at Beau. So is this your real voice, or is this one a fake voice?
Oh, yeah, I got hit in the head, actually, quite hard. And I guess I did not put forth the effort for the other voice. But honestly, I told you I was from Fandela. How could you think someone like from there would have some kind of country bumpkin voice?
I've never been to Fandela.
Okay, but okay, how about this? How could an elf run around with such a awful voice? You're a half elf. You
I don't
should at
know. I
least
thought
pick
maybe
up
you were
on
just
this.
weird.
He is
You're a
just
very
weird.
strange person. You do a lot of weird things. I don't know.
Ste'yn, roll an intelligence history check.
Wait, who? Me?
You Ste'yn, yes.
Cool.
It
That
turns
is
out everyone in Fandela does talk like that.
is a 16.
Okay. No, maybe you haven't seen elves, but that kind of dialect actually is not totally unfamiliar to you. In your area, you come across a number of people who have that good country charm. Just to call it awful, I don't know, seems a little harsh. Your neighbors kind of sound like that,
Do you think she cares about her neighbors' feelings?
You think she cares
I'm
about
just
people?
throwing it out there.
I think
I'm just saying.
it's not that awful of a dialect.
He just
I think
rolls
it's
his
charming.
eyes.
This suits you, though.
Thank you. Well, are we gonna go talk to what was her name, like Beatrice or something like that? Gertrude,
I don't
Betty,
know if I know anyone by that
I'm gonna
name.
keep trying. You'll get it eventually.
emissary
Keep going.
lady,
It's definitely not
Bria?
that one. Try again.
Bria.
Annoying dwarf lady?
No.
Oh, was she a dwarf?
No.
Oh,
not
I
even
was gonna say I
close.
don't think.
It was a play on annoying dwarf
Well,
guy
we were
from
going to
before.
talk to Moonridge.
Yes.
Oh yes, him. We need the letter from Bria. Bria, you said is her name, like the cheese almost. Like you got a brie, but then you have a Bria.
Yes, they agree with an Italian accent.
Where's Italy? I'm not familiar with that place.
I don't know, I thought it was pretty good.
Be somewhere far south of here. Not familiar with it.
So who was the plan to visit first, I should say?
Potentially, before we go anywhere, Lear is very concerned for your well-being, Ste'yn. I do think when we're in the area, maybe you should check in with her real quick.
Oh, yes.
I think we also told you about trying to do
Help with Kale's funeral, yes.
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 So, Real quick
She didn't know how to
clarification
do that.
question: when they healed us, did they also like take care of our clothing, or do we still just have a bunch of blood all over us? Because I'm picturing us now approaching Lear with blood all over our clothes.
There was some, what you call it's involved. Prestidigitation
Okay.
involved.
We use
and-
those magic stones, just,
The stone, there it is. That's the one.
Cool. I just wanted to make
You
sure
guys had
that
some
we
quick cleaning
look
stone action.
presentable. If we're gonna go find Lear
Maybe
and
a little torn up
confirm
some of
her,
the clothes.
we're just like, Lear, everybody's fine. Ste'yn's just covered in
Soaked in blood. If any of them do have blood or anything on them, Snow will clean it up.
Actually, Snow, can you use your prestidigitation on this eye patch?
Sure.
Yeah, I gave it to...
There you go.
Is that the new antibacterial?
Yeah.
It's just prestidigitation.
I mean, it
It
doesn't
cleans,
necessarily
so-
remove bacteria, but at least it makes it... Actually, it says it cleans it. Doesn't really say if it's like
it.
99.9% of germs.
It is-
but-
It's just Purell. Purell prestidigitation.
It is magically cleaned, so...
Magic Purell.
Oh, also on these, and he passes him the 2 badges that I took before that are also now covered in blood.
What even happened here? Never mind.
You know what,
don't
it's
tell me, I
fine.
don't want to know.
Oh, but if we're having conversations with people who are worried about us, know that blue-haired lady at the bar said she had a very particular message for you. She said that if you're upset, you should stop at her bar at this specific stool and stay and tell us exactly which stool it was. And if you don't, and she finds out that you're upset somewhere else, she will not be using her comforting voice.
Okay.
Just passing along the message.
Yeah,
She's
sorry,
in consent.
we kind of told her you were
Sure.
angry or
We didn't
upset.
say angry, we said
Okay.
a little bit upset.
Yeah, I was trying to remember.
That was awfully dramatic, but okay.
And then I also
It seems a
was...
little bit dramatic.
What did she say? That I don't have a very good...
Comforting voice.
Yeah,
She
critiqued my
suggested you
comfort
use a
skills.
slightly different tone for comfort, which
I said we were
Thanks,
looking for you to comfort you. Consider yourself
Well, you
comforted.
didn't do a very good job, but I appreciate it anyway.
Well, you're talking to us. We're gonna take that as a win.
Did we expect any less from Beau?
Nope.
Well,
If Ste'yn is gonna
you're-
go talk to Lear, Snow will go out to see Rosita.
Beau, you do see your mailbox is also glowing. If you
Oh.
wanted to check that real quick before you left, I'll share with you what it is you received.
He is gonna go grab that, but he was gonna follow Snow. He already talked to Leo once today.
That's fair. So Snow is going to Rosita, and the ladies are going to Lear.
Viola is gonna tell Ste'yn that she's gonna run to her room for a little bit and to come back and grab her before they go to visit the emissary office.
before they
Oh.
split, then Ste'yn's going to give Viola a bit of a hug because she didn't like seeing her friend go down.
Viola
that-
gives her
And
a
cast
really
guidance.
tight squeeze.
Just in
Guidance.
case.
And Viola would have reiterated to you guys that she learned that Vaughn had taken over for Ziva. So he's probably still with Nora.
When you reiterated that, did you tell us about Cynthia?
Oh my gosh, I haven't told you guys about Cynthia!
So is that you saying that you are gonna tell us about it now, or
You
is
start
that when we
to
get back?
wave his arms, and Viola is just like, wait a second, I have to tell you something.
I don't
Been
even
a
know
long
when
morning.
that happened in relation to where we are right now. If it was yesterday, if it was last night, I don't even
Well,
know
it was
anymore.
16
It's
hours
been
ago.
such a day already. But
That
so,
was... Wasn't that
It was yesterday
yesterday?
It was
afternoon,
like
yesterday
last-
afternoon.
yesterday
Yeah.
evening. It's been
Gosh.
such a long morning. I don't know what day it is anymore.
It's
But
been
But-
like 14, 15 hours.
when you tell
grand
us
total.
about Cynthia, Beau's gonna conjure up his knives and he's gonna spin it on his finger. She did
Go on.
what to now?
So, do I need to retell the story, or are we just doing?
You
like-
don't need to retell this. I mean, unless there's something in particular you want to emphasize, but no,
No.
you.
Or do you leave anything out?
Yes.
I don't know. Viola's clearly not the best at retelling stories.
No.
And
Tell the whole
Cynthia's
thing.
the purple witch lady, right?
The pink and purple lady. Except she wasn't all pink and purple when it happened, and she'll tell you that she looked kind of drab.
It seems like you gave her what she was due.
Yeah, I
Maybe
don't think she'll go barking up
little
the wrong
much
tree
fun.
anytime soon.
And Ziva agreed with that as well.
Why do you think she dislikes you?
Honestly, I don't really know because I tried being nice to her from the moment we got here. They were painting each other's fingernails and I asked to join, and she was very rude to me. And so I just decided that if she doesn't want me around, I'm not going to be around her. So I've just kept things neutral. And I was even kind to her when I got there. I complimented how she looked with the goggles. I complimented her on her magic before and after the fight. I don't know. I'm sure it has a lot more to do with her than it does to do with me, if you know what I mean.
Maybe it's your competing fashion.
That could be. She does like her pink and purple. Maybe she's not a fan of gold.
What was that thing she
jealous.
said when she left? Can you repeat that, Viola?
Oh, yeah. But you see, here's the thing. I'm sure now she's just upset with me. Part of it is because, okay. So, like I said, I think it has a lot more to do with her than it has to do with me. She's got a bit of a chip on her shoulder. She mentioned not having a mother to remember. And so I don't know if that means her mother was not very memorable in the sense that she wasn't a great mother, or if she grew up without a mother. So basically what I'm saying is I think it has a lot more to do with her having a rough childhood, whereas I did not. And I think it's just more that she has a chip on her shoulder. I don't know.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of people in here that have alive, faring mothers. It doesn't make that much sense to pinpoint the one person.
I can't think of any specific instances in which I have wronged her.
Sometimes people
Just
don't
out
need
of
a reason.
curiosity, do any of you have siblings?
Yes.
Yes.
No.
All right.
Why?
I was curious.
Well, curiosity
Noted.
is usually because of something.
I'm a very curious person.
Insight check.
I don't know if you know this about me.
You literally watched him take, in an evil lair, pour blood on a burning stone. He's a curious person.
Well, I got a 7 on insight, so I did.
All right.
My passive deception would be much higher than that.
I think
Fair.
you're
That was
the
a
only
thing.
one that receives letters from a sibling, if that's what you're wondering.
It wasn't, but
So you were wondering something.
yeah, I was wondering if you all had siblings or not. That's why I asked it. Well, I think we should try to be kind to her. I'm not saying that you that you were trying to be mean or anything.
Wait, is that the
but I
takeaway
do
we're
think we
taking from
should.
this?
That's the takeaway that I'm saying to you all, yes. So I think we should. Mothers can be very difficult. So, let's not beat her up for having a rough childhood.
I wasn't going to beat her up for having
Well,
a rough
That
childhood.
wasn't why I was beating her up. And I would never beat her up for that. And trust me when I say,
No, I didn't,
I
and I didn't
have-
say you were.
I have and will continue to try my hardest to be kind to her. However, I don't think I should go out of my way to do anything or say anything to her. I don't think she wants to see me or talk to me at all. So, but if it comes up, I promise I will try my hardest to
agree.
continue to be kind.
Well, that was quite an adventure. It was certainly more interesting than what we did in the library.
See, I knew it was smart to leave, and they say the smart people are in the libraries.
All right, so Lear is speaking with Ste'yn and Viola. Snow has checked in with Rosita, and Beau wanted to talk to Snow before y'all headed out.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So question. What is the deal with the whole don't kill them thing? This is purely curiosity.
There is never a good reason to kill another person.
You would say them trying to kill you isn't a good reason.
I mean, no, because it's entirely possible to stop them from killing you.
And what's
without
to stop
killing
them from killing somebody after you preserve them? If they're going to
Well,
try
isn't
and
that-
kill you, then obviously they can try and kill somebody else down the line.
I can't account for their future actions that they haven't taken yet, nor should we punish people for a possible crime that they might one day do.
Well, they already committed an already crime of attacking.
And I would stop that.
I don't know. It seems to me like there's more repercussions to not killing them than to kill them.
I don't think you can ever say the future with certainty. And I think that ending a life is a very serious thing. Why stoop to their level?
It's not stooping to the level if you didn't start the fight.
And still ends with a dead person.
Or more than one.
Or more than one, which is still not good.
Okay, and if you just wounded them, but you had no means of medically treating them, they could still just die of exposure, which is even longer.
I mean, you can always try.
Yes, but trying
That's
doesn't
more my
yield
point than
positive
anything
results.
else. Okay, but the effort is still important. I know that sometimes accidents happen. I know that sometimes people will die, and there's nothing you can do about that. But you always have to try. Because every life is meaningful. Every life is beautiful. And
There are
we should
lots
never
of ugly
be so
lives.
we should never be so complacent about snuffing out other people's lives.
So you've never
Because
had
then
to kill someone.
there's nothing. I don't think anyone ever does have to kill someone.
So you've never killed someone.
I could have killed the person that I fought earlier, but instead I did not.
Okay, but other than that, you've never killed someone.
No.
Have you? Insight check, actually. That one's a 12.
He seems to be honest.
So, people that do kill.
The record, that was a 13 that I rolled.
Well, I don't really have a methodology for not killing with my weapons. So what would you have me do then? Out of curiosity, not that I'm going to say I'm going to switch it up.
Simply do your best. I can't ask any more of you than that. I understand that if you are fighting for your life and you throw a dagger and that person bleeds out before you can stabilize them, I understand. If you are intending their death, however, and if you don't even attempt to stabilize them, and what's worse, you show no remorse for them dying afterwards, that, in my mind, is a fault.
Okay, so your thing is if I kill somebody out of necessity but don't feel bad about it, or yes, don't feel bad, then that's wrong.
I don't care about... It doesn't matter to me if your emotions are one way or the other afterwards. What matters is if you can look at that and recognize that was not good.
Wouldn't that be feeling bad about it?
No, you can know something is wrong without having any emotions on the matter.
So you want us to think that it's all around wrong?
Wrong
not
to
just...
kill people. Wrong to kill people, yes. That's what I'm hoping to impart to y'all eventually.
Oh, I see. Well, I mean, of course killing people is wrong.
Insight check. Not that was really needed.
You want to say it on 3?
I just got 7.
Oh, I got a 12 because I rolled a 5.
We're reading each other so well right now.
I feel there may be times where I can see it being wrong in certain circumstances. I don't know if I could say I felt in this circumstance poorly about it. And also, I can't say that I mean, I know a fair bit of people that I would actively want to kill.
Well, then I suppose that's a little more reason to not abandon this group so that I can keep you all in line.
Am I your mission? Is that what they call that?
That's a very dramatic and fun way to say it. Sure. That's how you want to think about it? Yes. My mission.
Alright, so you'll hang around us until we see the error of our ways.
You make it sound like I'm trying to convert you to a religion.
Well, I can't tell between... Well, to be honest, it seems like you're making more of an effort than Ste'yn does. I think
I don't really care about what the gods think on it, because they all have different opinions, and they're not always right. So, no, I'm not trying to convert you to a religion.
Just a way of thinking.
I just think life is beautiful, and I want others to see it that way as well. Simple as that.
And what's so beautiful about it?
So many things, Beau. So many
Can you
things.
clarify?
You want me to list them?
I mean, I want to get an idea of this grand beauty that you feel that everybody deserves a life.
You said you have siblings, yes.
Yes.
Are you close with them?
That is a complicated answer.
You don't have to answer this if this would be too complicated as well. But do you have someone that you're close to?
Someone I'm
Be
close
it family or friend or
close
another.
to. How? Like romantically? Physically?
Not necessarily.
What is?
No, as in a intimate friendship or an intimate family relation, someone that you can confide in, someone that you get along with.
Currently, no.
Well, I will tell you that if you ever do, and I hope you will, because that in and of itself is one of the most beautiful things about a life. But one particular very fun thing is when you see someone whose company you enjoy, when you see them talking about something that they're passionate in, you see their face light up and they get excited because they want to be able to share this thing that they love so much with you. That is a very great joy of life. And it's a very beautiful thing.
Regardless of what it is that they're passionate about?
If it's something good, and most people have good things that they're passionate about. Another would be the way that everyone looks up at night and sees the same stars. We're all so small beneath the night sky, and yet I would venture to say that very few, if any, of us have ever not at some point within our lives looked up at the exact same night sky and felt a sense of wonder. That's another thing. There are countless more. This world is big and it's vast and complicated, and everyone is creating and loving and
Killing.
some of them, yes. And that is not a beautiful thing, which is why I don't advocate for it. Someone, somewhere, right now, is experiencing their first love. That is a beautiful thing. Someone, somewhere, just read a book that they never read before, and it's filling them with an overwhelming joy. Someone, somewhere, is picking a flower to give to someone they like. There are innumerable beautiful things about life, and to cut one short is a great tragedy.
Well, I doubt any of them were picking flowers for someone that they loved today.
Maybe they could have, one day. Like I said before, there's always hope. If there wasn't, I really don't know what I would do with you, Beau.
If they were after the crown and whatever power it's connected to, I feel like if they had succeeded, or that they would just try again.
It is good that we stopped them. I wouldn't disagree there. And it's also concerning, because the crown didn't have the rubies in it anymore. Why were they so eager to get it?
Oh, I don't know if they knew
Unless...
that it was taken out, but what was his name?
But why would they think that the temple would just sell it? That still seems odd. Of course, perhaps they would have checked it, I suppose, before leaving, and then who knows what would have happened. How did they know that? It's all very concerning. As much as I want to continue on, I feel like we can't leave here until this matter is resolved. Even though it gets so boring staying in one place for so many days.
Well, I think it's resolved up to what we can do right now.
I don't know.
But what's his face? What was Gorianjo?
I have no
What
idea
was
you're talking about.
the bald-headed man?
Oh, I'm not sure. I didn't hear his name.
He had a position. He was like grand
The head celebrant?
celebratory person, yes. He
The head
said
celebrant. I heard Jeremy refer to him as that.
he said they were going to question and they would let us know.
Oh, good. Surprising, but good.
Yeah, he also said the stones sounded like it had similar issues as the blood we found. Gentle repose.
On the rubies?
Yes, there was a fiend that was taken care of, so the fiend likely is what was talking to us. Is what I'm thinking.
Didn't like that. That's strange. I wonder why. I don't really know who to ask about that, though.
Oh, that little trick that you did back there. When I was talking to them, you used your prestidigitation. What were you thinking when you did that one?
What do you mean?
So I have it written down in my book. He's gonna grab his spell book and he's gonna flip to the... I know you do magic differently than this. However, what would your suggestion be on channeling this? If music wasn't involved.
Yeah, I don't really know how to answer that without music being involved. Try dancing.
Okay, well, there's not like a thought process in your mind, something that you focus on. It's always just I'm focusing on.
Yeah, it's music.
The dance.
It's music.
Okay. Well, I had hoped that maybe if I started with the spell that you also knew that might help, but seems that might not be the case.
Well, the way that I do it and the way that wizards do it, it's very different. There's a lot more reading involved in how you're doing it, so...
Yes.
But I mean, if you wanted me to teach you how to, channel the magic of the world and the people in it, simply by observing and manipulating it through the sounds and movements, I could certainly try to do that, but it wouldn't be, it would not be in the way that a scholar would.
Yeah, I always excelled at the, I guess you could say, the more written and the concepts and all of that. It was just the actual forming of any kind of magical thing always just kind of, well, went up in fire.
Oh.
So,
that's very fun.
yeah, except
I
when
mean,
you're
you can
not
just
trying
use that.
Not when you're not trying to cause fire. So,
No, that's fair. But you
Yes.
can cause fire with prestidigitation. So maybe if you focus on that element of it and practice, trying to light a fire using that, maybe that would help.
yeah, I just
That's
remember
already
one
something that
time
you're better at.
when I was younger trying to charm a person and, well, ended up charring the person by accident. Not entirely, mind you, but just a little bit. So
That
that's
is
why,
terrifying.
yes, it was concerning to my tutor. So that didn't go very well.
I am all for concerning the tutor, but I wouldn't do it by burning someone alive.
Well,
so-
it wasn't on purpose. It just
No,
kind
I
of-
understand that.
Basically, the only thing I was used to be able to do was fire, and somehow that just kind of incorporated itself into anything I tried after that.
Why are you so good at fire?
Well, I haven't done anything with fire in a bit.
Well, why were you so good with fire?
I mean, it was just one of those basic things that you learn, and for some reason I was able to learn that one and kind of stuck with it.
So can you do that now, or are you out of practice?
I'm out of practice, but I can certainly try. Can Beau try?
Is there a fireplace somewhere?
He's just gonna try shooting it out in the, because I imagine we're not indoors right now, or are we still indoors?
I fully imagined y'all were still, like, after you'd spoken to Rosita, if you guys knew you were meeting, like, you know, back in the novice hut, and then, you know,
He's gonna
somewhere inside
he's
the
gonna
novice
try
hut.
and do it in a direction nobody's at, where no structure's at, like maybe towards the ground. Just that.
What are you attempting to do?
A firebolt.
Is this something you have access to?
Huh? Well, it's something that he knew way long ago. He's not, like I said, it's not like it's gonna entirely function. He's just gonna.
Sure. Yeah, you,
Do you want me to roll the 3 dice again?
is that what I
just like
did?
a few sparks.
Yeah.
Oh, the super disadvantage. No, what I'll have you
This
do
isn't even something you have, though.
Yeah, this is it.
Right.
This is something that he
Give me a
had
Arcana
because
check.
high elves always start with a cantrip. So before he was a vampire, he used to be able to do this.
Yeah,
that
give me an
figures.
Arcana check.
All right, Arcana. That is a 12.
You are able to recreate the movements, the sounds that go with this cantrip, and that's about all you get. Like, you think maybe your palm got a little warm.
See, so the general thing I can have down. It's just nothing comes out.
But you used to be able to do that.
Yes, I'm.
So were you trained? You were trained as a wizard then, in your youth.
I was trained kind of in many things, sort of. There was a lot of expectations.
Go on. I can understand that.
So there's been attempts at sorcery, wizardry, druidicness. Never really, well, not warlock. That was kind of looked down upon, and artificer wasn't becoming, really. And then I heard a lecture or two on your craft, but it wasn't really very impressed to try and pursue it. It was kind of like, you should go and learn about how this kind of works, but don't try it, kind of thing. So I've witnessed a lecture on that. So yes, there was many things that I either sat in on lectures or was at least trying the avenue down just to kind of tally. The last hope was wizardry because of the study nature of it, and well, I kept lighting things on fire.
So did they kick you out, or?
Well, no. So I was privately taught, so there wasn't really kicking us out of our home. The lectures, that was different. That was more so listening and taking notes than actually doing any kind of demonstrations on our part. It was mainly watching that, so it's not like I blew up the stage
Sounds
doing
boring.
those things.
Sure. Would have been more fun though. So what happens to make it stop? Why did you stop pursuing it?
Well, I wasn't getting anywhere, and then I left home, so tutor not there.
Why did you leave home?
I went off again. Remember?
That's
We
where
talked-
you went when you left home.
Yes.
But why?
Well, because they had their... Why am I blanking on what this place is called? That's where they had their guardianship.
Guardianship.
So you were hired or something right out of home to go to Gen?
I mean, I knew that they had a guardianship there, and just kind of like here, it wasn't really something, oh, you get hired or something, you just kind of show up. So I convinced,
Oh, is that thing?
yes.
Well, why did you want to leave to go join the guardianship, though?
Well, I mean, you spend 70-something years in one spot, it gets kind of boring.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, so I decided to go do that. It also got me out of other things, so it kind of worked out. It wasn't super easy to compel my father that it was a... what's the word? a tactical move, I guess you could say. It took some push, but eventually.
Yeah. Fathers do tend to not be very supportive.
Yeah, I mean, overall, he was supportive in almost anything else. He just had other things that he wanted for his children. Family as a whole.
Yeah, that's how it goes. I wonder what happened to Viola's, though, because she does get very emotional when it's brought up. So I wonder if she actually did have a good experience with hers.
Well, she said he died.
I mean, obviously that experience wasn't good, but she mourns him a lot. So hopefully, before he died, they had a good relationship.
Well, I mean, you don't, at least to me, you don't mourn someone that you hated.
Exactly. So hopefully they were fine then. I would hope so anyway. She deserves that.
And speaking of the lovely Viola, as your conversation turns towards her, she and Ste'yn return from their conversation with Lear. Ste'yn may or may not have tear drops still on her armor, potentially. We'll see. We'll see how that led to that. And as you guys get back together, and you were looking for one of the emissaries.
You were looking for Moonridge or Vaughn specifically.
Specifically. You know for sure that Bria is... You know Bria's on duty. And you know generally when you're looking for emissaries, the command office is where the on-duty folks will be. So I didn't know if there was like a specific place you wanted to look. That seems like a solid place to start for at least the official route to find any given person. Did you want to start there, or were you looking specifically somewhere else?
I think we'd start at the command office, and if we don't see Moonridge on some cursory glances, maybe ask Bria if she knows where he is or where we might come find him.
So you guys make your way back through the novice hut, and you know towards the back where the hallways split off and where the office, those small offices are. You find yourself back at the novice emissary office. You knock. Give me a quick perception check, everyone. Probably the last roll of the evening. Ooh, make it a good one.
Oh, everyone. Sorry.
Yes, please.
10.
17.
Where the heck did my
17.
2 17s, a 10, and
6.
and a 6. Oh my. Our 17s, you guys hear voices through the door. Multiple voices through the door. One is loud. Not yelling per se loud, but it's louder, and you recognize it as Bria's, and her generally louder tone is excitable. You hear another tone that's a little bit louder than the others, more kind of garbled and rough. It reminds you a lot of Moonridge's voice from when you heard him last. And you hear these before you enter. So when you do enter, you see 4 people inside around the desk. Bria is sitting in the chair. Moonridge and Vaughn are both standing on either side of the desk. They seem to have been in the middle of some conversation, some harried conversation. And there's one person you have not met. She is only just taller than the desk itself, as she seems to be almost lazily leaning her chin on it and watching the others speak. She's a short, maybe about 4 foot tall. She has dark skin. As she turns her head to listen, you can see her kind of rounded nose gives you very strong gnomish vibes as she's kind of just listlessly watching the others speaking. They seem to be this harried conversation until the door opens and they all turn to look at you. Bria immediately stands up from her desk, and the quill and pod kind of wobble as she very quickly stands. One of the books tops over, to which Moonridge kind of clicks his tongue. No dignity. You can't forget you need to have dignity when you're on duty, Bria. She says, oh, please, hush already. Perfect, look who's here. Can't believe. Excellent timing. Good morning, welcome. I have something for you. And she goes into a drawer, pulls out a small slip of paper. The others give her kind of an inquisitive look, and she just brushes them off. Hush, 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 hush. Goes over and hands you, we'll say Snow, hands you this slip of paper. When you unravel it, you see it is, and if you show the others, it is very similar to what Viola had received from Storkham. It is an assignment. It reads, the undersigned Guardian residents are requested for assignment by orders of the Peace Watch. They will investigate and, if feasible, correct the course of missing shipments leaving out of Dranfeld and Hazelford. Completion of assignment will include the return of acquired lost goods to the dedicated shipping team or proper authority. The only signature currently on there is Bria's under signature of witnessing party. And she says, just make sure that when you get that signed, maybe just cover up that little part that has my name on it. It's a little bit out of order, if you understand. It's a witnessing party. So then you'll just need someone from the Peace Watch to sign. Don't say it too loud in front of Moonridge. He's stuffy. Or Vaughn. But Rochelle is fine. She doesn't talk much anyway. And then you'll need the signature of the agreeing party, and that's going to be our lovely captain.
But the captain's out, isn't she?
Yes and no. Actually, and she looks back at the others, we actually just got some news. Well, apparently, someone from Sakers went up there and had a chance to do some... I don't know what they did. I was told she might not be up for a while. Hey, she might be up. So how about we take a trip, huh?
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Wonderful.
Like all of us.
Well, you are the ones who need the signature, aren't you?
Yes.
And she turns back around to the others who are just eyeing her, and just Moonridge and Vaughn just kind of shaking their heads at her lack of kind of a put together demeanor. The other who Bria introduced as Rochelle, she again has not really made much of a move at all to indicate anything about this sudden change, but
Snow will hand the paper off to Ste'yn and go over to the gnome that he hasn't met yet and offer his hand and say, hello, I'm Snow.
Nice to meet you. Rochelle. She will reach out her hand and shake it, and she will say, further introductions probably can wait. And I
All
think...
right, well, it's a pleasure to meet you.
And I think that is where we will pause our adventure for the evening.